So welcome to the New Mills Community Garden here in the beautiful village of New Mills near Dungannon in County Tyrone. We're here today to show you all of the work that was achieved through the Apex Connecting Communities grant that our group received, and we're going to show you around and show you exactly what was done. So here we are in the main garden in New Mills, and we're going to show you around all that we've achieved in the last 10 years with our little club. We have a wildlife gardening club that was set up, and this project started about 10 years ago when we did a project with 2 local primary schools as part of a World War I project. The community garden and the schools all set up wildflower areas to look at local wildlife, and then we developed this community garden as a legacy of that initial project. The funding originally came from Grow Wild, who were funding community gardens and wildflower areas. And then from that time, we've developed a whole raft of different projects, worked with all different groups and drawn little bits of funding in from different funders, which has helped us to develop and improve the area for everyone to enjoy. So as part of the main garden, it was all developed thanks to, as I said, original funding. And it was initially established really to look at how we can connect communities together, but also how we can benefit our native wildlife, especially our pollinating insects, which are under pressure. So all of the projects that we do around the village are all wildlife friendly, and we try and garden and we plant with wildlife in mind. From those early years, however, we have developed a lot more features, sculptures and artwork. And a lot of the projects we've been doing in the last 6 or 7 years have all been connected around getting groups involved and young people involved and adults involved in doing different art projects. And some of the features you can see in the garden, including the main garden sign here and our bespoke sundial, which was put in a few years ago, thanks to funding from My Park in Dungannon. And a couple of other features were all part of community art projects. Some were stone carving, some were blacksmithing projects, and we looked at all different aspects of the local area and how we connected people up through our shared industry, through our shared built heritage, as well as our natural heritage.
I'm ready whenever you are.
So behind us here, you can see our little picnic area at the back of the main community garden. This was all funded by Mid-Ulster Council back in about 2017-18, and they came in and tarmacked all this area here in a car park for us. And then from then on, we've also put in playground markings that the children can use, picnic benches that people can obviously avail of, and they can come down, grab a coffee and something to eat from the local shop and come and sit here and enjoy the river running past and enjoy the community garden. And then in a second, we'll show you our lovely bus shelter that we have in the car park, which was painted by local children. So the car park here, as I said, was developed by Mid-Ulster Council. We've also put different features into here over the years. So we have a notice board and an interpretive panel, which tells you all about the wildlife of the Torrent River. And then we also have a lovely bus shelter, which the children from the local school have painted. So the bus shelter was painted by local young people as part of an art project. And this particular panel is the start of our river trail, which was another project that we've developed in the last couple of years. So you can see a little map here, and it shows you how to get from the community garden out of the village of New Mills safely into a field where the Torrent River runs past and up to the old historic Dungannon Canal, as they call it, which is an aqueduct which goes across the Torrent River and was part of the old Coal Island Canal. The coal would have been drawn out of Coal Island and taken up across the land and across the aqueduct, and we're going to go and see that later on. So we're now walking from the main community garden across our footbridge, which goes across the Torrent River. This was part of our initial project. This is the VC Memorial Bridge, and it connects us with the main garden out to another area of the wildlife garden that we created when we set up our wildlife gardening club in 2019. Whole loads of different features here, bits of funding that were drawn in very thanks kindly to people like Lockney Partnership and Live Here, Love Here, who've helped us to develop a whole other area in the garden here. So a project that we carried out with the young people again in the village was to create this lovely mini beast hotel. So the children got together to design it, and they came together to build it as well. And it's obviously all recycled materials, great for our insects to hibernate and to use for food. And you can see on the side here some of the features that were developed by a local artist. And so that is recycled metal. And the snail, just an interesting point, one of the projects that we had with Brackerville GFC just down the road here and the Coal Island Heritage Museum. All of the metal on these is made from old bits of the linen mill, the cogs and the machinery from the linen mill. So we recycle as much as we can in the garden and upcycle and recycle and upscale. So as part of that project as well, we started to develop communal herb beds. So these are herbs that anyone can come along and help themselves to. Again, great for our insects when they flower, but people can come and use them in their cooking. So people can just come down, crop a few bits, take them home. And on the back of that, we also developed a village recipe book. So we have fruit bushes, apple trees, herbs, and the recipe book contains at least one ingredient. Every recipe contains at least one ingredient you can find here in the community garden and in the herb beds. So another part of the community garden, as we came across the bridge, is we started to develop a whole strip of area beside the Torrent River here. And over the years, we've improved this. Lots and lots of different plants that are put in that come back every year. We do plant fresh flowers every year, but there's things like foxgloves and sweet william and cosmos. Lots of climbing plants that give us a bit of height. But this has now improved the area, and as you walk along here anytime during the spring or summer, this is a lovely area to come and walk along, and it just gives a nice feel to the village and gives a bit of an ambience to the whole area. So over the years, as we've been funded and supported by different funding streams and grant bodies, we've also had a lot of input and a lot of support from local businesses and organisations and companies who have helped us develop different features again. One of these is the phone box you can see here. So Wright's Tyres in the village, they helped us to develop this, and pretty much it's a lending library, so people can come down, help themselves to books, take a book and leave some, and it's a lovely little addition to the village and very well used. So our most recent tranche of support that we got was from Apex Connecting Communities, and this has been a fantastic boost, not only for us in the community garden here in New Mills, but for 3 other groups that were involved in the project. And that was Brackerville Gaelic Football Club, the primary school here in New Mills, and Crafty Kids After Schools in Coal Island, and we'll see those projects later. But in the garden here, Apex very kindly supported us for a series of talks, community talks and workshops. We had a clay making workshop, we had a felt making workshop, and we had a young person's mini beast workshop. All very successful. A lot of the community from all over turned out to support those, and that was supported, as I said, by the Apex grant. Apex also funded us in the community garden for a whole range of plants and for fresh bark to put down to landscape the area. And they also funded us for 2 new panels. We had the World War I panel that was revamped because it's been in for 10 years, so we got that redone. And a fantastic new panel for our herb beds, which you saw earlier. And that tells people all about the culinary and the medicinal use of herbs and why they're also good for wildlife and our pollinating insects. So thanks to the Apex support, we've been able to develop the community garden further, as well as the other groups who have been involved with the project. And it's also led on to further funding. For the community garden, we've been recently awarded some funding from ASDA Community Awards to put some new fencing in, and again to strip our main beds and to revamp them and put new plants in. And the other groups have also had the skills and the confidence then, because of Apex, to look for further funding to enhance their areas for their communities in the future. So here we are at the start of the New Mills River Trail. The River Trail here was developed in the last few years as an extension of the community garden that you saw earlier. You can now walk very safely out of New Mills Village, along the road or along the footpath and up to the New Mills Trail, which takes you into a path. You run alongside the beautiful Torrent River where you can enjoy the wildlife, and then the River Trail will take you up to the New Mills Aqueduct or Ducart's Canal, which is a very historic structure and was part of the Coal Island Canal, which brought the coal out of Coal Island and up across New Mills and across the country. So you can now come into New Mills and go safely around the whole area, and it's a lovely walking trail, very well used, and we've got further plans for development of the trail, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So as part of the extension to the River Trail, we've got a lot more businesses and companies getting involved with the community garden since the Apex Shared Housing Programme support. So one local company is making us some benches to go along the River Trail here. and hopefully an information panel so we can interpret the river trail itself and the wildlife and the old Coal Island Canal, the aqueduct there. And as I said, on the back of the Apex support as well, we've had a lot more companies coming in and supporting the community garden and getting involved just free of charge, coming along and doing wee jobs for us, like stripping the beds and donating soil and bark, which has really helped us as well. And that's all come on the back of the Apex support that we got. So it's a fantastic addition.
So Andy, will you tell us about the hedge?
So this is part of the river trail then, Valerie. We had a couple of workshops where we had an expert came down and made what's called benches hedging or dead hedging. So this is all the material that you could get from your garden, any cuttings in the autumn and winter, if you're cutting trees back. And all you do is you're literally piling that up and weaving it in, a bit like the willow dome when you weave the willow dome in. But that's, at the moment, that's obviously all dead material. But then that's a great habitat for all your biodiversity. So all of your mammals and your wee mice and your frogs and your insects and your birds. And as they're coming through that and using that as a corridor, then they'll be dropping seeds or they'll be pooing and the seeds are dropping to the floor. And if you've got a little base of soil, then that will start to grow again. And over the years, you should get then different plants and different shrubs will actually grow through that and it'll become a living structure again. So this again, we've made 2 of these as part of the river trail. So we're here at New Mills Primary School, which was one of the other groups that were involved in the APEX supported project through the shared housing programme. And the children from the primary school and the children from Crafty Kids After Schools carried out a fantastic art project. They all got together and they started to research all local wildlife. And from that, you can see some of the artwork that was developed by the children here at the primary school. So you can see the wildlife panels that were developed at the primary school here. So the children researched all about local wildlife and then they got together with a local artist and they developed these lovely panels which have gone up on the side of one of the classrooms. They also developed another project as part of that art, which was to develop some recycled horseshoes into butterflies, which were then made by a local blacksmith and have been painted and put into the outdoor classroom here at New Mills Primary School. So here we are in the New Mills Primary School outdoor classroom. Over the years, the Gardening Club have helped to develop an outdoor space for the children to use. You can see behind us a lovely willow dome that was planted by the children that's growing. We have a butterfly garden, we've got some log benches, they've got raised beds that they plant fruit and vegetables in. There's a compost heap, there's a tool shed and another mini beast hotel, very similar to the one in the community garden. But over the years, again, we've helped to get some funding for different projects at the primary school. But the reason we're here is because the New Mills Primary School children were involved in the art project thanks to the APEX Supporting Communities grant. The support from that allowed them to develop, as we've already seen, the wildlife panels along with Crafty Kids children and the recycled butterflies. And those butterflies have been put in the garden here to lift the area and to beautify it and has led on to further funding to develop the outdoor area here at the primary school. So here we are at the Brackerville Community Allotments at Brackerville GAA Club, and Brackerville were involved in the APEX funded programme, the shared housing programme, connecting communities, along with the other 3 groups. We're here in the garden, which was initially set up as somewhere where people can come and grow their own fruit and vegetables, and it was initially started during lockdowns in 2020. And from then, we've developed a whole range of different features that people can come and enjoy. And thanks to the funding from APEX, there's a whole new lot of features that we've put in here to really enhance the garden for everyone to come down and use and enjoy the space. As part of the funding from APEX Connecting Communities supported housing programme, we had a willow dome that was built, and we had a workshop with about 15 or 20 people that came out to develop this feature for the garden. And one of the problems of the garden is it's quite wet down here in the autumn and winter. So the willow, the same at the primary school, the willow will help to suck up that water and dry the ground out. And people came down and built this dome. As you can see now, it's actually growing away, and we'll have to maintain this obviously every year. But it was a very successful workshop. And thanks to APEX, that's one of the features that was put in through the funding. So one of the other elements of the programme that was supported by APEX Shared Housing Programme was the bench here that was made by a local artist. And this has been installed so people can come and sit and enjoy the allotments and the ambience of the whole place. It was crafted with fruit and vegetables, obviously to link in with the growing aspect of the allotments. And it's also had the Brackerville GFC club crest there in the middle. And so I said people can come down, just have a look, get involved with what we do here at the allotments, and just enjoy, on a day like this especially, the whole of the area, the wildlife around us, the pictures behind us, and just sit and relax and think about all the people that would use this place, all the people that maybe, this is a memorial bench, so people that maybe they've lost over the years, especially maybe connected with the club or New Mills. And it's a lovely little extra feature. And thanks to Apex, we've now got other plans for development for the future for the Brackerville community allotments. So here we are at Crafty Kids After Schools in Coal Island. And Crafty Kids was another member of the group, of the 4 groups that were involved in the Apex Connecting Communities Shared Housing Programme project. We've seen the other 3 projects there. So this is the one again that was involved with developing the art project with New Mills Primary School. So over the years, Crafty Kids have developed their outdoor classroom here. We started with putting some climbing plants up. The children did some planting. And then following on from that, we got the funding from Apex, the support from Apex to develop the art project with the primary school children in New Mills. We also developed a willow dome, the dome you've already seen at Brackerville. So we had the funding and the support then to develop a dome here at Crafty Kids, which the children will now use. And following on from that, we've been able to pull in some further support from Mid-Ulster Council to develop some other features that the children are going to make and they can use in their outdoor classroom, just to enhance that whole area so the children can use it. And it's great for the wildlife, great for the community, and the children can have a wonderful outdoor space that they can use when they come here. So as I talked about, we developed the art project with the primary schools. So Shanine here is one of the leaders at Crafty Kids, and Shanine and another leader, Kathy, were involved in developing the project with the children at New Mills. So we had a 10-week project, and you've already seen the panels that were developed at the primary school and up outside one of their classrooms. So at Crafty Kids, the children research all different areas of wildlife and birds and mammals and plants and insects, and they then designed their own panels, which you can see up beside us here. So they've gone up on the wall, they've got perspex on them, which is obviously going to protect them from the weather, and it's really enhanced and really brightened up the whole look of Crafty Kids as an outdoor area. One of the other aspects that they did is over on the fence over here, and we developed some of the butterflies. So as you saw in New Mills, they had recycled some horseshoes and made them into butterflies, and the children, including Shanine was a part of this, had been involved in getting the children to paint these, and then we've put them up on the outdoor area here. And the children that were involved in this got a lot out of the project. They got working with other children in the local area and really enjoyed the whole aspect of developing the project, researching it, and actually bringing it to fruition. So you can see the butterflies up here, again, similar to the ones at New Mills. And that's Crafty Kids as an outdoor classroom. So another element of the Apex supported program through the shared housing program was to develop a willow dome with the children here at Crafty Kids. So we already saw the one that was at Brackerville, which we had the workshop to develop that. So we had some of the children and the adults out from Crafty Kids to develop another willow dome here. And again, this is a living sculpture, as I said, so this will keep on growing. It's helping to suck up moisture and wet from the ground. But the children have really taken to this, and a lot of the children will come out and use this and sit around and sit in there and talk and play as well. So that was another element that was funded through Apex and this particular project. So to finish off our tour of Crafty Kids After Schools and the project, we have now applied for further funding from Mid-Ulster Council and was successful to get some money to carry on developing the outdoor classroom here at Crafty Kids. So one of the projects we're going to do is to make a greenhouse, which the children can then grow their own food and their own plants. We're going to put in a rockery, a butterfly garden, sensory garden, very similar to the one at New Mills Primary School that you saw earlier. And we're also landscaping some of the play features here so the children can use them. And it's given all the group and the leaders and the children confidence to use their outdoor area, and for us to apply for further funding from different supporters, which will carry on the good work that we started at Crafty Kids.